to get 50% off of your next purchase of
bones and meat.
Use the code It's Oops All Necromancers.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I am your DM, Oz the Great and Powerful, and joining me at the table are Bug,
Finny, Satyr Druid. Never mind! This old lady is not my grandma anymore.
C,
Madam L, half-elf bard, charming slimy boys and giving revenants toys.
Oh.
Didn't like that one, and Bree.
Sorrin Doll, Hobgoblin Necromancer. You can't spell undead without
Okay, before we get back into the recap and the episode, is there anything we want to plug? I'm going to plug birds, by the way. Just birds.
Birds
I
are
like
pretty
birds.
sick.
Very
Go look
good.
at them. They're good.
The government
Love a raven.
might be controlling
Blue
them.
jays. I don't believe that for a second. Birds are free and true.
Perhaps birds are controlling the government.
Holy
Did you ever consider?
shit.
I also don't believe that one. Have you seen birds?
I don't know. Sometimes ducks, they got this look in their eye like,
That has something else to do with nothing we're going to discuss today. Okay, actual plugs. That's not me.
We are going to be at QuadCon. It's a little comic and toy convention at the Crown Plaza in Springfield, Illinois. And that is going to be on June 5th.
We snuck in there.
Yeah, we wriggled our way in there.
I'm gonna be lurking.
I don't have any toys or comics, but they let me in there.
I'll have dice.
It's free space.
Beautiful, beautiful dice.
Yeah, so we are going to have our dice, and we are going to have our weird theatrical display that we built. If you want to come check out that.
If you want to stick your fingers in a skeleton's mouth.
You're not allowed to do that.
It depends.
Well, hold on. How much money you got?
Okay, I'm gonna say if you're a patron, you can stick your fingers in the skeleton's mouth. I'll say it
I
right
will
here on
accept that.
record.
Patrons
only. This hole is patrons only!
Skeletonsonly.com.
Oh my god.
So we're launching a new website called skeletonsonly.com. If you go there, you can just sort of, see bones.
I was trying to
Good.
make something with only phalanges work, but it's not gonna happen.
Hey, y'all, listen, this is a fucking mess. So we will be at the Crown Plaza in Springfield, Illinois, June 5th. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's recap what happened last time in the Finn and question mark. Y'all fought a hag and her frankly non-threatening slime boys. Sorrin accidentally almost stepped into another plane, but luckily was able to get a door shut just in time. There was a dead kid who came back as a murderous revenant, but Grun slapped the hag's head off before old Petrov could get a single attack in. Finny's amulet was activated by those spooky night hags, the ones outside the door, you know the ones. And finally, some recompense was had by burning down Grilda's horrid little hut, and that's where we are now. At this point in the day, it wasn't like super far in the day, so this clearing still has a bit of like grayish sunlight leaking into it, which is obviously sort of outshone, as it were, by this massive burning tree. Did you guys do any sort of exploration of the area around this tree?
I think Finny just lit it on fire and then zonked out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, if any time has passed, Madame L has just kind of been tending her wounds. She got stabbed in the shoulder, if I recall. So I'm going to roll some hit dice for that.
That is correct. You got clawed pretty badly.
We all did, actually.
Grun was fine. He's a tough boy. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any threat of this fire spreading. I mean, the thing just sort of went up almost immediately due to how oil-soaked it was. Mm-hmm. But it's not close enough to any other trees that, like, a forest fire is a danger or whatever, or a swamp fire.
While Finny is zonked out and Madame L is kind of tending to her horrible stab wound. I guess I'm just gonna sit down on the grass, kind of next to Finny.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to go through the items we retrieved from under the trap door and see what I can see.
Okay. Are you presumably detecting magic as a ritual and to save those precious spell slots and then kind of seeing which ones are magical?
Yeah, because until we're finished with our short rest, I have no spell slots.
Oh, yeah. So as you look over them, the carved ivory statuette is non-magical, as is the set of yellowed pearls, the triple set that is on, like, length of woven chain. Mm-hmm. The necklace that is the sort of bifurcated tongue on a thick leather cord is magical. Mm-hmm. The rust-colored bag is magical. The palm-sized orb is magical, and the 2 other pouches you grabbed are magical. Why don't you give me Arcana checks and tell me which ones you were checking with which check?
Okay. Our ivory statuette is of the person, like, in,
Screaming.
like, horrible pain, right?
Yes, it looks like a carving of a sort of nondescript male who is tied to something, some sort of pillar.
Is it, like, religious in nature?
Or is it just like a kinky statue?
Yeah.
I will say it's not a kinky statue.
Dang it.
If you want to do a religion check to kind of see if you know any sort of esoteric knowledge about what this may be tied to, you can.
Yeah, I also want to see... So, I know you're saying ivory, but do you mean people ivory?
If you look real close, you notice that it is not one solid piece. It seems to be made of, yes, we'll say people ivory. It looks like it is some sort of bones that have been melded together.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make
There
a
are
history.
definite, like, seams. Like, you know the seams a skull has. There are those, but more minuscule,
Yeah.
where it has been sort of grafted to other bits of bone.
Oh, God. I'm about 3 seconds from yeeting this directly into the fire again, but I'm going to look at it. Okay, I did very badly on that history check.
It's religion, regardless.
Oh, God. Well, I already rolled really bad and failed it, so I don't think
Who says you failed it? That's my decision, not yours.
I got 2 4s in a row, so...
Okay, yeah, no.
So-
you
so
have no clue
7?
if this is tied to anything.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what that thing is. I set that off to the side, because I don't know how I feel about that.
You reckon it might be worth something as a curiosity, if nothing less.
Yeah. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and do Arcana checks on the remaining items.
Okie dokie. Which one are you doing first?
I'm just gonna do them in order. I will roll for the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Okay, well, I did get an 18, but the second one was a 4, so so 9.
You know it is magical, and I will say, because this is how Detect Magic works, you know the School of Magic. Divination.
It is divination. Okay.
You can always experiment with it by putting it on.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go ahead and roll for the rust-colored bag.
Okie doke.
Oh my god, I'm rolling so dog shit! I don't even need to roll again because that was a fucking 1.
Its magic type is Conjuration.
Now for the palm-sized orb. Oh my god! What the fuck? That's a 7?
You know, I will say even with a 7, you know what this is. You would know at sight as someone who's been trained in magic and also who's just been around any magic anywhere. It's a drift globe.
Okay.
Quick summary, it is a small sphere of thick glass that weighs about a pound. If you are within 60 feet of it, you can speak its command word and cause it to emanate the light or daylight spell. Once used, the daylight effect can't be used again until the next dawn.
Oh.
You can speak another command word as an action to make the illuminated globe rise into the air and float no more than 5 feet off the ground. It hovers in this way until you or another creature grasps it. If you move more than 60 feet from the hovering globe, it follows you until it is within 60 feet of you. Takes the shortest route to do so. If prevented from moving, the globe sinks gently to the ground and becomes inactive, and its light winks out.
Very cool. All right, time for rolling for the 2 small bags. That was a 9, and with disadvantage, a 4 again.
What's going
So
on?
9?
You got a curse on you.
I got brain
You got a case
fog.
of poo brain.
Yeah.
It is just through a rudimentary look. One, it detects as illusion-based magic of some sort. 2, you open it, and inside is a powder that resembles very fine sand.
So I kind of have these sort of spread out. I've got them out in front of me. Is Madame L, like, near me?
Yeah, I would say about this time she's probably finishing attending her wounds.
Madam, I've been able to identify the nature of the magic of some of these items, but as far as their specific capabilities, it's not something I'm familiar with. Would you like to take a look?
I would love to look through the spoils of our adventure, but perhaps we ought to get a move on. I would hate to see what this fire attracts in the night.
Yes, very fair. I guess then everything, I guess I just scoop everything up, except for wait, if I'm recalling correctly, the drift globe will follow you, right?
Yes, it will if you activate it.
Okay. It's still, I guess if we're going back into the fen, then I'll probably go ahead and, I don't have to keep it, I was just going to activate it anyway.
Yeah, it can just float along with you
It's
guys.
just our little buddy now.
I know.
We'll personify it and grow attached to it.
Yeah, until it gets somehow horrifically destroyed.
Finny kind of rolls around and is like,
My brain hurts.
Me too.
I think I saw everything. All of it.
and then Finny like touches his necklace on his chest. And so it starts to glow green, and Finny feels a burst of magical power within himself. And I regained 1 spell slot.
Yeah. So a quick summary of this item is that, much like Sorrin's heart, it is a artifact of sorts that is based around the design ideology of the Vestments of Change, or whatever the hell they're called in Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, where essentially it is considered dormant at this point, and then later it will become awakened and gain more powers, that kind of thing. Essentially, what this very powerful magic necklace can do is that once per long rest, Finny can restore half of their spell slots, rounded down as a bonus action, to sort of mitigate the fact that at low level you don't have very many spells, and it's not fun to listen to or play. So there is that. In addition, it adds a bonus to Finny's spell save DC equal to half of their proficiency bonus rounded down. So at this current point, a +1 gives you a little bit of extra damage dealing capabilities when you are wild shaped or in your symbiotic entity, by adding a +1 to melee attack and damage rolls of, say, your claws or bite if you're a wolf or whatever, or to your weapons you are wielding when you are in symbiotic entity. And finally, it does have a downside, just like Sorrin's heart does, and that on spell attack rolls of 1, 2, 19, or 20, it automatically causes a wild magic surge. And so at that point, we'll of course be rolling on the dumb wild magic table, and it should do some very interesting things, because it's a very interesting, very good wild magic table. So yeah, that is the basic rundown of Finny's wonderful, wonderful cosmological map of a necklace that can do some wild things, and will only continue to become more powerful as the story goes on, and also have larger negatives to go with the larger benefits.
When after Finny's necklace glows green, and he rolls around in the mud some more, just kind of contemplating life, Finny's like,
I don't get it. I don't get any of it. What did that thing even say to me? I don't even know. I don't even know where this necklace came from. My family says that It was on me when I was a baby, when they found me. And now it's all weird. Ah!
It does merit further investigation, but perhaps we should unpack everything a bit later.
Yeah, you're right.
I think we should try to get Petrov home.
Oh, yeah, we should.
I will say, Finny, that whenever you use any of the powers of your necklace now that are specifically associated with it, that instead of the normal sort of greenish glow, it actually coruscates through a myriad rainbow of colors,
Ooh.
including some that you're not sure you've ever seen before.
Whoa.
Oh, hot new color. New colors just dropped.
New colors!
Madam, I would like to check on Grun and see how Grun is doing. Is Grun ready to go?
Grun is currently seems to be salting the hag's head in some sort of attempt to preserve it.
Salty hag bag.
Yeah. Other than that, he seems fine. I mean, he isn't really that hurt.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll my hit dice real quick.
Okie dokie.
I'm a D6, aren't I? Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Wah, wah.
You can add
Hey, better than it could be.
a D6 to that.
Oh, yeah.
Song of Rest.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I rolled my hit dice earlier. I'm back up to 13 with 1 hit die.
Cool.
I was fine. I'm at 14.
I really for sure needed that because one of the dice I rolled was a fucking 1. So I'm going to go ahead and get 6 hit points back. So I'm at 11 out of 12. Okay, are we going to get a move on attempting to navigate our way back out of the fen?
Mm-hmm.
Got our drift globe
Yep,
going.
Yep. I will say that as you guys sort of leave this clearing in the fen, that it feels less oppressive than it was. It's still very dark, which is more due to the fact of the foliage above head than anything else, but it does not feel like it is pressing in on you. You reckon perhaps some funky things were going on due to the presence of a hag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Survival checks.
I got it. I just rolled a nat 20.
Wow.
Whoa!
Wow.
You really did see everything, damn.
Yeah.
Finny sits straight up from laying down and goes,
All right, time to go.
and starts walking off.
Okay.
This way, come on.
Grun, are you coming?
Grun gets up whenever Finny presumably starts wandering off into the trees.
I imagine, I'm sort of like, you know when you're in a grocery store and you don't want to, run, but you need to basically be running?
You hustle.
You hustle.
You do the arms down by your side hustle.
I'm power walking with my little drift globe, desperately trying to keep up.
Okie dokie. That was a very good navigation check. So, I grant you a boon. As you guys are making your way through this fen, you hear what sounds like gushing water up ahead. And you enter a small copse of trees in which there is a effervescent spring.
Wow.
Whoa.
Pretty.
And standing by this spring is a large deer with ornate antlers.
Oh my gosh.
And it looks directly at you, Finny.
Oh.
And you see its form meld down into an elven woman wearing deep brown and green robes with antlers upon her head that seem to actually be growing from her head.
Whoa.
And she goes, "Welcome."
Hi. Hi. Hello. Sorry to intrude.
Child, you would not be here if I didn't want you to be.
Okay.
You all look rather tired. Why don't you stay for a moment and I'll see about preparing something for us to eat.
I'll be making an insight check, thank you very much. 17 on the dice, plus 1, 18.
There is no sort of ill intent that you can sort of intuit from this stranger. Just a sort of almost grandmotherly kindness around the eyes, and interest. A lot of interest.
Like, Finny, have you started approaching her?
I think, like, really slowly. I feel like not even really thinking about it. Finny has, like, slowly started subconsciously walking towards her.
Hi, Sorrin. By the way, pleased to meet you. We have found very little so far in this fen that has not been absolutely foul. So, please forgive a little bit of, reasonable suspicion. May I ask who you are?
I've not had a name in a long time. My goals, we'll say that they align with yours, if I am to understand you correctly.
I see.
Grun has dived into the spring at this time. And is rinsing himself heartily.
Forgive us if we are a bit mistrusting of kind-looking women who approach us, offering rest in the fen. We were nearly just killed by one, you see.
Yes, I'm sorry, I understand the confusion now. I figured where you were heading, and I am in your debt. You have taken care of, well, if I could be so bold as to say, a blight upon the land, and so I offer you aid.
I feel that we can trust her. Different than the old lady. The old lady was because she was old.
Yes.
This is different, I promise.
You must understand that as a follower of our path, and she gestures at Finny, we typically do not intercede when a worthy test is put in front of someone. But you have proven yourself worthy and have assisted me with ridding the Fen of one of its many evils.
That makes me mad.
Hey, that's druids, baby.
I know, but that's shitty.
At this point, Madame Owl generally, I think, trusts Finny's
My guts.
guts.
Trust my
So
guts.
I think she'll kind of let her guard down and say, well, after all we've been through, might as well not look a gift horse in the mouth, Excuse the language. I guess you were just a horse yesterday, Finnegan.
We really must talk.
Yeah, it was weird. But I like your horns. They're like mine, kind of. They're different, but they're cool.
I like your horns as well, child. And she goes to a sort of, we'll say, a hut that is kind of built into the landscapes around. Like, there is a hill near this spring. She lives in a hobbit hole, okay? She lives in a hobbit hole. I realized I was going to start describing it, and it's a fucking hobbit hole.
Yeah, live your truth.
Don't at me, Tolkien.
Don't at me from the grave.
Hey, I don't know what he's doing in the afterlife. Don't at me. And she returns with it's basically a charcuterie board.
Hell yes.
Whoa.
It's a big old charcuterie board, and there is a selection of ripe berries with this charcuterie.
Oh, yeah. Finny absolutely goes for those berries.
They're good berries. You heal 1 hit point when you eat one, and you feel like you've had a large meal.
Awesome. I have all my hit points back now.
Madame Owl will partake as well.
Sorrin, eat one of these berries. This is the best thing I've ever had.
I'm,
Do it.
allergic.
You're a liar.
I think Grun has the right idea. I've been filthy for days, so, if you'll, excuse me, I'm going to, remedy that situation.
As soon as your foot touches the water, you feel better than you have in quite a long time.
Oh,
All your
okay.
aches are gone. You feel as if you are particularly blessed,
Huh.
as in the spell,
Oh.
for we'll say an hour.
Wow.
Oh.
Grun is shimmering, by the way.
Oh my god. He already was. Don't even
Beautiful.
lie.
Yeah.
He was already shimmering.
He's like a Twilight dwarf.
Oh my god.
No, he's not. He's not Mormon. God damn it! I really should have thought that one over. Anyway, yes.
As they're sitting there eating, Finny looks in his cloak and is like,
All right, you two, come on out. Come get some snacks, but please don't argue.
There is a look of surprise on this druid's face as both your rats come out, living and dead. And she goes, "Is that where Thaddeus got to?"
What? You know him?
Of course I do. Child, that's my familiar. I would recognize Thaddeus anywhere.
Oh.
I wondered where he was when I got back from my walk last evening.
Wallace, did you know about this?
Wallace shrugs, and then shakes a tiny rat fist at Thaddeus.
Why do you guys hate each other?
Thaddeus, meanwhile, is just sort of cleaning himself and looking like he's pointedly ignoring Wallace.
Well, Finny hands them both a cracker.
They both start snacking. They sit a little closer while snacking. Kind of keeping an eye on each other, though, as much as a rat can. Well, I certainly wouldn't want to remove Thaddeus from your service. He may be my familiar, but I am not his master. If you would like to keep him with you, and if he would like to stay, then...
Well, I mean, he is pretty cute, but that's up to him, I guess. I don't want to take him from you if he's your friend, but it would be nice for Wallace to have a friend his own size. Oh.
Wallace is emphatically shaking his head no.
I've always thought that. Wow, rats kind of hang out together, and Wallace doesn't have anyone to hang out with other than me, really, and that must be a little bit lonely sometimes.
Child, when you've lived as long as I have, friends come and friends go. Thaddeus is a faithful servant and friend, but I would not be unduly upset if he chose a different path than mine. And she sort of looks down at Thaddeus, and they lock eyes, and then he performs a deep bow, sort of sweeping the cracker out like it's his hat. And she bows her head back at him and goes, "There's always others who are willing to assist me in my ventures."
Wow, Wallace, you're gonna have a friend!
Wallace is pouting. He's still eating his cracker, but he is pouting.
I'm gonna have to perform rat therapy.
And yeah, you guys, you snack. You do your things. You take a wonderful bath if you want to in this enchanted spring that is just the right temperature.
Oh, perfect.
Beautiful.
Madame Owl will soak her feet.
For the next hour, you are under the benefits of the Bless spell.
Yeah.
And this druid scoops up some of the water in these small filters that she has and caps the bottles for each of you. You each have one bottle of this enchanted spring water.
Ooh.
Once again, I cannot state enough what you have done for me and the Finn as a whole.
Much appreciated. I'm assuming that Grun and I have come back at this point.
Yes.
I do, since we have done you such a service, there were some, peculiar, occurrences with our experience. There were numerous, entities involved, not just Gerda.
Numerous, you say?
It seems as though we had gotten involved in a larger conflict. There were several night hags attempting to infiltrate Grilda's home while we were present there. They seemed to be thankful that she had been killed, and one made their way into the hut and left with her body. It was very strange. Is this anything you would know something about?
That is indeed of interest. However, I generally do not parley with hags often. Despicable sort. Feuds between covens are not unheard of, but between, well, anyone can hold grudges, I guess.
Ah.
My apologies. I wish I could be more of service.
No trouble. One more thing.
Of course.
The realm that this hag in particular, the night hag, of course, appeared from, it was extremely strange. And I guess I describe what I saw when I opened the door. I talk about the weird purple glowing fire and like neon colored tripped out plant life and stuff.
And you see at the mention of this, there's almost a certain strain beneath the surface of her face. And she goes, "That is peculiar, I must admit. It sounds like... How much do you know about our planar system?"
I know the basics. Also, if anybody else wants to get on this conversation so it's just not me and Oz talking to each other for, like, too long.
I think Madame L is soaking her feet still and kind of listening.
Finny's just sitting there contently with both of his rats, watching the conversation, soaking all the knowledge in, like, yeah.
Oh, so sponge brain.
Planar system?
Occasionally in places of great energy, we will say, the planar borders between our plane, the material plane, and others can be weakened. For example, you could stand at the heart of a volcano and find yourself suddenly in the elemental plane of fire. For what you described, it sounds like you saw the Umber Fan.
Am I familiar with that at all, or no?
You would know of it barely, because like planar exploration is a thing that people do. It is dangerous, but you can explore other planes if you have the magic or technology or what have you to get there. So you might have heard like basal rumor on what it is. A lot of planes, the people who go exploring there, like their shit's locked up in their personal diaries. But you would know it as essentially the plane of shadow or a sort of dark analog to the fan.
Okay.
Which is sort of for listeners who know anything about Pathfinder, it is a lot like the First World. For people who only know about Forgotten Realms and D&D, it's like, what if the Feywild was better? Essentially, the idea is that it is a sort of a template for what the material plane became. And so there is some extra weirdness. The Umber Fan is its dark reflection.
Okay. I guess I look at Madame L and say, I'm assuming much like the gates in Helvetier?
I have heard of those, and yes, it is similar to the Infernus gates. Those are stable connections that have been formed, but what you saw was an unstable one. You were quite lucky that you did not pass through and become trapped.
Yes.
The witch, she touched my necklace. And now it feels different. And she made me see everything.
I'm imagining Finny's pupils going, whoa.
She approaches you, we'll say, at speed. And by at speed, I mean it looks like she fucking teleported.
Oh, God.
And she grasps your necklace and goes, "Now that is a point of interest. I thought that's what this is, but now I am certain." Child, do you know what you have?
No, I've had it since I was a baby. My family, they found me, and it was on me, and it's always been with me.
I will say this now. Keep it safe, and never let it out of your sight, and be wary.
Oh.
Well, that's cryptic.
And extremely helpful.
I do apologize, but some things are not meant to be explained.
Finny grows serious. I feel like more serious than any of you have ever seen him, and grabs onto his necklace and says,
"I'll protect it. It's always been there for me, so I'll make sure I never lose it."
Good. Now, unfortunately, I believe it is time for us to part ways. I have other duties I must attend to, and you surely do not want to stay in the Finn, but I can assist on that matter.
In what way?
I need you all to grab onto me, and we will get you returned to Grishtal.
Oh. How does she know where we're going? I guess Grishtal is the closest place. Oh, she saw us coming
she's
from
been
Grishtal.
watching us this whole time.
You have
know
entered
it.
her Finn. She knows where you have been.
Yeah, really cool of her to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, that's how druids work sometimes. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. I get it. I'm just, Sorrin doesn't like it.
I guess Madame L's the only one still soaking her feet, so she'll get herself together, and do as she is told.
I'll grab my jacket off the branch it was hanging on.
Come on, Grun! Don't forget your deer hat!
Grun grabs his glaive and moves in front of the druid and faces forward.
All right.
Glaive held forward.
I think we're all holding hands like a happy little family.
And you see her entire body is limbed in this sort of greenish fire.
Oh.
And she takes 2 steps forward and then is sprinting and runs directly into a tree.
What?
And you all follow and pop from her grove to the outskirts of Grishtal. And she looks around at you and then lets go of your hands and essentially leans backward into the tree and is gone.
Wow!
That made me feel sick.
I want to do magic like that one day!
Okay, the matter at hand. First things, first, madam, should we return Petrov?
Madame L is kind of steadying herself with her cane. That made her nauseous.
Yeah, Sorrin didn't like it either.
She says, yes, I think that is first on our list. Are we right behind the tannery?
You are not directly behind it. You are a bit further down the line from it, but it is within sight.
Okay. I suppose we kind of solemnly head in that direction then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Madame L will just go ahead and knock on the door.
And you hear, sort of muffled by the door, just a moment. And shortly thereafter, the door is opened by Hegrig, who looks up at you and then looks at the... Sorrin, I assume you're holding the bundle.
It's in the basket with the lid on.
Okay.
Like, he's his little boy
The child
body
corpse.
in the basket.
The child corpse in the basket, yeah. And looks at the small basket in your arms, Sorrin, and tears well up in her eyes. And she says, so you found him.
That's right. It's done.
And she bursts into tears and hugs you, Madame L.
I don't think we've seen anyone hug Madame L this whole campaign.
No.
Do you do the awkward back pat?
Well, she kind of puts her arms up for a second and then kind of does the awkward back pat, yes.
And with that, Auric and Argenta come out at the commotion, and they take the basket from you, Sorrin, and they are also, tearing up a bit, and finally Hegrig calms down some and says, you truly are a good person, Madame L. Thank you for bringing our boy back to us.
Of course. It's the least that could be done.
If I may, it is worth mentioning. He was avenged, and we have reason to believe that his soul is at peace.
Madame L nods.
And they, once again, profusely thank all of you. They ask for some privacy. They are able to offer a modest amount of gold, about 80 gold to you guys, which is a large amount for owners of a tannery to be putting forward.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
I think Finny declines it as well.
Yeah.
I can't take this.
Yes, we were promised a reward by the mayor, and I think that will be more than enough.
I'm just happy knowing no other kids will end up this way.
Yes.
And with that, Hagrid tears up a bit again and is once again profusely thanking you and talking about, how kind you are, your heroes, whatever.
Oh.
I don't feel like doing a whole roleplay thing. Right? It's unnecessary, and I can't make myself cry on command, so...
Yeah.
Also, trying to simulate that vocally is such a bad thing to listen to. Oh my god. So I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus probably all of us except maybe Finny are sort of emotionally weird. So
Yeah,
like,
no one wants to deal with that.
Yeah, no, we can just
Okay,
say that she thanks us and sends us on our way.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll give them their privacy.
Yeah.
As we move towards the pub, Madame L would like to consider the time of day. Has the sun just set?
No, it's not that late in the day. It's like maybe 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So the sun is getting lower, but, well, as much as you can tell in Thraxil,
Yeah.
with it being constantly cloud covered.
Okay, so perhaps it would be about the time of day when people are starting to get off work and head towards the...
That is correct.
Okay.
People would probably be going there for their evening meal if they typically do so at the hag's steak.
Yeah.
So
As Madame L kind of leads this somber procession, except for Grun, who's eating a summer sausage, towards the hag steak, I think when we get into where we can see the pub, she's going to kind of abruptly stop and take a breath, and then turn around, and you'll see the normal Madame L with a smile on her face again, and say, "All right, everyone, now I know this might be difficult, but chin up. We have a little bit of performance to put on here." And she moves over to Finny and kind of messes up his hair and kind of ruffles up their clothes.
What are you doing?
Now, if we are going to make the most of this situation, we have to get the townspeople to, at the very least, acknowledge us. And she's going to then move on to Sorrin and kind of try to get him to stand up straight and look as proud as you can, Mr. Sorrin.
Oh, okay.
And then she's going to turn to Grun and look at Grun and not do anything to Grun because Grun probably is perfect and rugged. And
Beautiful.
is Grun just kind of like dragging that head along on the ground behind him?
Oh, he's got it in a sack over his shoulder.
Okay.
With his glaive resting on the other shoulder.
Beautiful.
He has finished his summer sausage at this point, by the way. Very important.
Important updates.
Excellent. So, just follow my lead, everyone, and it will be right as rain.
Okay.
Okay.
And she begins marching towards the hag steak.
I follow.
Yeah, me too.
Grun follows as well. I would say Grun probably sets a pace with Madame L.
And she'll kind of abruptly open the door to this bar and pause for a second and have a look around.
Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to describe things. I was like, oh, cool, and what happens next? How exactly do you go about opening this door? Do you, like, kick it open?
Not kick it open. We're not into cliches here, but
Oh, okay.
You're not me drunk at the curve at age 21. Don't kick open the door.
but just, I mean, kind of abruptly, you know.
Okay. As you swing open this door, perhaps with some sort of flourish, people do stop. Conversations do stop because, well, they know the normal crowds. And also no one opens a fucking door that way. And as they are looking at you, Grun takes the head in the sack and sort of spins it over his head like a sling and flings it, and it lands on the bar and sort of unfolds with the hag's head, tongue stuck out, eyes rolled up.
Very salty.
Yeah, and then he gestures to you a little bit, like, okay, your turn.
I do a little clap.
Madame L looks at Grun as kind of like a unexpected well done.
He's also a performer. Like, come on, guys.
That's true.
That's true.
Also in a circus.
I think Madame L is just going to kind of go all out and climb up on top of the bar
Shit.
to get everyone's attention.
I think Finny says that under his breath too. Like,
Oh my god, holy shit!
People of Grishtal, the four of us have delved into the Finn, and we have slain a creature, a foul creature that was stalking your children. I, Madame L, who heard the cry of a poor child's lost soul and followed it into the wild fen. Mr. Sorrin, the humble stable hand whose knowledge of the dark creatures surely saved our lives.
Sorrin looks awkward and attempts to become smaller.
Young Finnegan, who burned the foul, child-eating hag's lair to the ground with a flick of their wrist.
Finny curtsies.
And Grun, hag's bane, who slew the despicable monster with one swing of his mighty glaive.
Grun sort of looks back and forth and puffs up his chest.
It is our pleasure to have served you.
Okay, give me that performance check with advantage. That was pretty good.
Wow, beautiful.
That was really
beautiful.
good. I got goosebumps.
As you say this, the boys are like, "Oh, they slayed a hag. You see that? That's a hag's head if I've ever seen one." And one runs past you, Sorrin, and looks up at the sign and then looks at the bar and goes, "Yep, that's a hag, all right."
Okay, so I rolled with advantage, I rolled a 14 plus 5, so a 19.
After some mumbling around, mostly from the boys, there is a round of applause. And Thorismud looks up at you on his bar, and he quickly whips out that mayor sash and hat and goes, "As mayor of this town, I thank you all handsomely," and bows. And then he sort of takes off the hat and the sash and then goes, "And as bartender of the Hag's Steak, drinks are on the house.
Did you just change your voice?
Listen, kid, when you become a mayor, you'll get the mayor's voice too. Trust me."
Never mind. Woohoo!
Well, you heard the man. Drinks are on the house.
With that, Grun goes up, and who knows if he actually understood what you meant or not. And he swings his glaive directly into a keg of, you immediately recognize the smell of whiskey.
Oh, God.
And starts drinking from the keg. It's fucking party time, y'all.
One more thing, everyone.
They are enthralled at this point. They are hanging on your every word. They stop in the middle of carousing and pay attention.
I propose, and she lifts up her whiskey that has materialized before her, surely, and she says, "In honor of the continued safety of the children of your town, I propose we celebrate, as children do, at the circus."
Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
And the boys, yeah, all right, sure. I haven't been out to
Come
the circus
on,
yet.
Mr. The Boys! Let's go party at the circus!
And the head boy, whose name I can't remember and is not important.
It was Tony.
It's
Mr. the Boy.
It was definitely
Mr. Tony
Tony.
the boys. Tony bends down and scoops you, Finny, onto his shoulders and follows in the direction you were pointing, presumably at the circus.
Woohoo!
And before we go, Madam L will look at the mayor and that reward you promised.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Mayor business. Puts on the hat and sash. Of course, madam. If you will simply allow me, I will return momentarily with your reward. And he goes to a room behind the bar, and you hear some things shifting around. Something definitely gets thrown across the room, and he comes back carrying this ornate chest that he opens, and it seems to be overflowing with gold.
Wow.
Oh.
Surely this is a start to repaying this wonderful service you have rendered my town.
You are too kind, Mayor.
It is my humble duty to serve. And then he takes off the hat, and also to serve drinks, and puts the hat back on. That's just a little mayor/bartender humor for us, and also the listener. And he winks at a random person in the bar. I don't know where we're going with this. Do we say goodbye now? It sounds like we're moving the scene elsewhere.
I mean, Finny's on the back of Mr. the Boy.
Yeah, you're on your way to the circus,
On
as
my way
is
to the
Grun.
circus.
Yeah,
so-
I think we try to lead as many people as we can up to the circus.
I don't know. There's something that I wanted to do first, so if I'm kind of trailing behind and nobody really notices, I can kind of peel off.
If I may, because Madame L was kind of at the end of this party too. I think Madame L is about to walk out of the pub, and she sees Sorrin isn't coming, and says, "Are you coming, Mr. Sorrin?"
Momentarily. It's been a tiring few days, and all I really want is, just a solid plate of burnips. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm assuming I need to make a roll because I'm lying.
Madame L probably doesn't care. Madame L would just toss Sorrin some gold and say, suit yourself.
Thank you. I will be,
She's gone.
Okay, figures.
Yeah, so while Sorrin stays behind to have a delicious bowl of stewed burnips, you all progress to the circus, with Finny sort of leading the charge on top of Mr. Tony the Boys. And as you approach, you see, of course, JJ out. The the show itself has not yet started, and he's sort of, doing his carnival barker thing. And why don't you both give me insight checks?
I got a 21.
I got a 17.
You notice a look of almost murderous rage in JJ's eyes for just a moment whenever he sees the two of you. And then it is quickly gone behind his sort of cherry expression as he welcomes all the people to the circus.
As we come through, does he try to interact with us?
He acknowledges you. He says, I see that my stars have brought most of the town with them. Now that's what I call quality. And he looks at you, Madam Ellen, goes, I presume this was your doing, Elle?
Yes, I do apologize for our abrupt absence.
We killed a hag.
So you did.
Indeed, we did.
I'm...
Mm-hmm. And Grun helped us.
So he did.
Indeed, Grun is the talk of the town. Grun Hagsbane, they've been calling him.
Have they?
And it was quite a lucrative endeavor, and, well, we couldn't have done it if we were not here with the circus, so I'm certain a fair portion of that reward is going to you.
Perhaps it is. And he sort of cuts the carnival barker thing and leans down and goes, perhaps the three of us should have dinner soon and catch up on where you were.
Doesn't even notice that Soren's not there.
Nope.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Perhaps tomorrow evening, then. For now, the show must go on. And he stands back up to his full height and, shoots some sparks out his hands or fucking whatever. And continues directing people about seeing the wonders from across the world and blah, 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 blah. And with that, let us go ahead and cut back to Sorrin, who's just finished his wonderful bowl of stewed burnips.
I'm assuming Thursmood is still at the bar, right?
Yeah, he's just sort of cleaning up. People were all about going to the circus and just sort of left their shit or tossed their drink to the side or whatever. Mm-hmm. Frankly, the amount of persuasive power that Madame L holds is a bit frightening to Sorrin, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little concerning, but we'll deal with that later. I'm trying to think how I want to go about this, because this is the first time he's been back in the Thraxel for a minute.
At least a decade, yes.
Yeah, he has some pretty pressing questions he'd like to be at least try to find answers to. So, Soren's not really good at this kind of thing, but does Thursmood, talk much, chit-chat much while I'm sitting there?
He is a consummate professional who went to bartending school, so he does indeed make small talk.
Oh, okay.
I see you're a burnip boy, huh? I notice it seems to be your favorite thing.
Yeah, had them a lot as a kid.
Oh, yeah? Well, they are an acquired taste. Where'd you grow up?
Small town, you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, well, they say the same thing about Griestal.
I'm sure they do. Now I do, not to, pry too much or to be, inappropriate, but this situation with the hag, did guard not do anything about it?
We sent a few guards in maybe a month ago. They never came back. Most people who go as deep as you did never come back. And old Medrash said that he wasn't risking any more of his men on a, and I quote, fool's errand. So, you know, what can you do?
Sounds about right.
We sent off to the Black Mountain, and they weren't going to supply anyone.
That's just the way of it sometimes.
Yeah, that's Nithraxel.
Medrash, you say, is he the one in charge around here? But outside of yourself, of course.
Yeah, he's the guard captain. Nice enough guy, you know, as far as guards go, I guess.
Yeah.
He keeps the town safe, but doesn't really like, you know, going out past our borders, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, above his pay grade, probably. It has been, just lovely. It seems like I'm already quite a bit late to the party, so I'd better start heading that way.
Yeah, of course. Hey, real quick, usually I'd have, you know, one of the boys help me, but you mind helping me out with something real quick? I just need you to, you know, hold something steady.
I suppose, okay. What do you need?
Yeah, if you just want to go ahead and hold this pike steady while I get this head up there.
Can do.
Thanks, bud. Absolute legend. And he grabs the head, and you guys go out front, and he kind of assists you in stabbing this long length of wood into the ground, and then with a sickening stabs the head on top of it. Goes, that'll be good for business. You know, the hag's steak and all.
On brand, yes.
Anyway, hey, you want to walk me down or anything? You know, everyone else went off to the circus, so I figure I might as well check it out too.
I'm fine, thanks.
Can't get you a witch's brew or nothing?
Stomach doesn't take it well, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, something about the vinegar and whiskey doesn't sit right with people. I don't know. It's good stuff. Anyway, you have a good night.
You too. Maybe I'll see you at the circus.
Yeah, maybe you will.
Sounds like they're about to go on a rom-com date.
Oh my god, no!
Sorrin X Thorismid.
He quickly puts on his mayor's hat and sash and goes, off to the circus.
Okay.
And puffs up his chest and strides away.
Okay, I want to go back to that alleyway where, Gustav's Great Grimoires was. Can I locate
it's
it?
Gustav's Grishtal Grift in Grishtal,
Sorry,
thank you.
Gustav's Grishtal Grift.
And they only get worse from here on out, I assure you.
Oh, God.
I will be designing his store names with even more terrible tongue twisters if I can. Yeah, as you're roaming around sort of the warehouses near the docks, trying to find this place again, you walk past an alleyway that is completely empty, and just out of the corner of your eye, you suddenly see Gustav's Grishtal Grift, and you sort of stop, do a double take, and the alley is no longer there, but Gustav's Grishtal Grift is.
Okay. You can do this, Sorrin. You helped kill a hag. You did that, and nobody died. Okay. All right. Approaching the door. I walk up to the door and open it and head inside.
You open it, and of course, there's the gentle tinkle of some bells. And it is as it appeared last time you were here. Gustav is not within sight.
I guess I walk up to the front desk where we did before. I realize there's no bell because Finny still has it, but I guess I'd probably stand there and wait for a couple minutes.
As you're waiting, you hear something shift to your right, and you turn to see Gustav standing upside down, connected to one of those like catwalks that are around the sides of the building. And he says, "Greetings, Mr. Sorrin. What can I do for you on this fine evening?"
Hi, Gustav, you're just there suddenly.
I do apologize on not greeting you when you entered my fine establishment. I was
in fact busy with an experiment.
Oh, say no more.
I will not. It is highly confidential.
My God, I'm so afraid. So, I was looking for a certain something in particular, but I didn't know if you had it in stock.
And what would that be, Mr. Sorrin?
I was wondering if you happened to carry any dust of disappearance, anything like that. He's sweating so much. He's so sweaty.
Got some things you gotta do on the down low, on the confidentiality
No.
side. I
I
understand, Mr. Sorrin. Of course I do, as any good purveyor of magical goods, as well as scrolls of invisibility, or perhaps even a cloak of invisibility, though I reckon that is perhaps outside of your price range, or even a simple scroll of pass without trace. Would any of these things interest you? One of my most valued customers.
What? Any number of those items might work, Gustav. Plus, any additional payment that might be required for perhaps forgetting this conversation happened.
Mr. Sorrin, I am offended. I would never speak of any sort of transaction between myself and my valued customers. I assure you, there is utter confidentiality between us.
Of course. How much would the asking price be for a scroll of invisibility?
For you? Well, let me do some considerations. Do you have any objects of interest you could offer in trade, perhaps?
Yes. I guess with very shaking hands, Sorrin is going to lay out the necklace with the tongue on it, the rust-colored bag, and then the two small bags out on the table. And he's also going to put out the blunderbuss with the cartridges.
Okay. And as you're laying these out, you see he just sort of continues to walk upside down. And he steps his foot off while upside down and just sort of flips around to the upper side and starts strolling further up the wall, and then reaches down at his feet and plucks out a scroll, and then just sort of does a front flip and gently floats down to in front of you and goes,
Now, this is quite an assortment of items you have there, Master Sorrin, but you're not holding out on me, are you?
I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
Now, I am a man who gathers much info for many purposes. You wouldn't happen to have a certain statuette, would you?
and there is a avaricious gleam in his eyes.
Oh, God. Here's the thing. I didn't want to give it to him because I think maybe I can use it for a tattoo, but I don't really know. We did, locate a statuette. Why the interest? It doesn't have any magical properties as far as I can tell.
Consider me a collector of curiosities.
And he winks at you.
Okay, then I guess I reach in. We could be willing to part with it. Are you sure none of the other items here would be sufficient?
And he looks them over and goes,
Twin tongue amulet that hasn't been invested in. Bag of tricks. Mr. Sorrin, you have 2 pouches of dust of disappearance here. You do know this, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Well, it can never hurt to have backup. The blunderbuss is just a gun.
I don't know who might want a gun. I don't want to be carrying this gun around anymore.
It is a gun. For the blunderbuss, I can offer you the scroll. The rest, I have plenty of.
Could we perhaps exchange the statuette for a favor to be determined later? Nothing too extreme, of course.
Now that is an interesting endeavor that you have laid before me.
Interesting enough to agree?
Mr. Sorrin, I am indeed a gambling man. I accept your offer.
And he holds out a scaled hand.
Thank you. I very hesitantly reach out and shake his hand, and I will take the scroll and slide over the blunderbuss and the statuette.
Okay. As you lock hands, you feel almost like a chain wrap around your hands.
What the
God.
fuck?
And you see a small, intricate green G glowing on your palm. And he says,
The deal has been sealed, as they say.
Thank you for your time, Gustav. I'm sure we will see each other again soon.
I certainly hope so. You have a nice night now.
Good night. I basically walk out of there.
You leave, you hear a influx of air behind you, as if a void is suddenly being filled, and if you peer over your shoulder, Gustav's Grishtal Griffs is gone.
Welcome back to the end of the episode, everyone.
Welcome back.
We have a little more information on that event that is coming up on June 5th.
Oh, yes.
It is called QuadCon, and it's happening in Springfield, Illinois at the Crown Plaza.
It's going to be a really good, fun time, I think. Yeah, it should be. There's going to be nerds and merchandise, and I'm selling my dice. Also, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get to stick your hand into the skull of no names, of many names, of all time, of all knowledge.
It's going to be a fun event, a little bit smaller than the larger conventions that you hear of. But if you haven't been to a comic book or anime convention before, this might be a good chance to check it out. Put your little toesies in the water.
You should check that out. And you should also check us out at bit.ly/allnecromancers.
That's all for this episode.
Bye-bye.